friends! This is Gladys Ellen, and welcome to Heavenly Hugs, a podcast guided by angels. It is here I will share my personal angel stories and insight so that you too can be uplifted and blessed by these beautiful beings of light. Hi friends, it's Gladys and welcome back. Today I would like to talk to you about emotional pain and how getting in touch with it can actually be an incredible benefit. So I was lucky enough and blessed enough to have met a really great therapist, and I have done some really deep inner work with her. And what I had found through that experience was there was some incredible healing in being able to connect an experience I had in the past with a behavior that I was having now. And in that, there was some type of freedom or release or deep inner healing. And so today I'd like to talk to you about emotions and the body and where we carry these emotions and what they're connected to and how we can release them. Because I feel that this knowledge and wisdom can help you make the connection that it can actually free you, yourself, and your body from any emotional pain that is causing physical pain. So I studied in this training called Integrated Energy Therapy back in 2006, and I fell in love with it. I have used the knowledge that I learned in the basic class in almost everything that I've done for the last how many ever years, 12 years or so. And I want to share some of that information with you today as it's so powerful. So this modality is guided by Archangel Ariel, and what we learn is that experiences and experiences and things that go on in our lives, the pain in our body is actually connected and starts in the spiritual body. So think about the aura, and we have these layers in the aura. And so in the outer aura, we have the spiritual body first. And what happens is if we have like a lesson or experience that we need to have, it filters into the spiritual body first. And most people will ignore it if they're not opened and in tune with that part of their energy field. And then if a problem is ignored or an experience is brushed off, it filters in the mental body. And this is where a lot of people start getting that awakening. They're cycling in their mind. They're having a lot of mental thoughts. And at this point, what's happening is you're bringing yourself outside of your body. And so you can actually create this disconnect where your mind is in one place and your body is in another. If you've ever been driving and missed an exit or went the wrong way because you were on autopilot, chances are your mind was in another place than your body. So if the mental emotions are ignored, it eventually filters into the emotional body. And then if that's ignored, let's say we have a problem with a bill that we procrastinated, an issue with a car, let's say, or something we're putting off saying in a relationship with a coworker, a boss, or a significant other, it starts to affect us emotionally. And at that point, if we don't know what to do about it, what happens is we become a magnet and start creating the same circumstances over and over again until it eventually affects us physically. So I want to go through the points of the body to let you know where these emotions are being carried, what they're tied to, and what affirmations or positive energy you can flood those areas to counter those experiences, the pain in your body. So I want to start off at the crown or the top of the head. The crown or top of the head is where we carry the emotions of guilt. And now, growing up in an Italian Catholic family, guilt is something that's instilled in us. We feel guilty for putting ourselves first. We feel guilty for not taking care of this person or that person. And we've kind of learned that, it's our fault. And so if you think about this weight of guilt, this energy, I should have done this, I should have done that, I feel guilty about this, I feel guilty about that. What happens is we're carrying that weight on the crown or top of our head. And the crown or top of the head is our connection to our soul, God, source, creator, father, love. And if that energy is weighing heavily on the head, what happens is it really shuts down that 8th chakra, which is your soul star in connection to your soul, and the information in your guidance system of intuition. So it starts there. And then, the positive emotion that we want to get from that is the energy of innocence. So if you can think about the innocence of a child, where the world is a wonder, and there's playfulness, and there's joy in that space, that's the energy that we want to counter with. So really going back to, if you're feeling that weight or that heaviness, or you're feeling guilty about something, you can call on the Archangel Raphael. He can help you lift those emotions of guilt and imprint the energy of innocence. I say so often that Archangel Raphael reminds me of Santa Claus. And remember, Santa Claus is the innocence of imagination, of play, of wonder, of excitement. And so being able to have experiences like that, connecting with a child, can naturally release those emotions of guilt. And what happens when you start thinking about those experiences that you had that were creating guilt, it will lessen the impact and speed up the recovery process. The next area I'd like to talk about is the third eye, the area in between the brows. And this area is connected to distrust. So, we have distrust all over the place. It goes right up to politicians. We even have distrust of God based on the experiences that have happened to us. And what it really does is it really shuts down your inner knowing, your insight. And so the angel that works with that area is Archangel Gabriel. And Gabriel wants to counter that, or help you counter that, with the energy of trust. So if you open your heart and your mind and you ask Archangel Gabriel to bring in trusting people into your life, ask Archangel Gabriel to help you trust yourself. So a lot of times maybe somebody has like headaches in that the temple area. It could be like that tense feeling of distrusting yourself. Maybe you've got to make decisions and you don't want to make the wrong decisions because you've done things in the past that you feel guilty about. You see how it's all connected? So calling on the Archangel Gabriel and asking him for his assistance to help you bring in trusting experiences, ask him to teach you what it's like to trust yourself and others so that you're making the best possible decisions. When we make decisions, financial decisions and decisions for the greater good, maybe we've got decisions at work, and sometimes we make mistakes, it really kind of shuts down our ability to trust ourselves. And like I said, this goes all the way back to childhood. Have you ever done anything that you've been punished for, that, you felt bad about, that hurt somebody? This is all like the trust area that really helps us and our intuition to know what's right or wrong. So if you keep feeling like you're on this cycle and you keep having these experiences, the same experiences over and over again, and you don't trust yourself, invite in the Archangel Gabriel and ask Gabriel to support you in being able to trust the world, trust God, and even trust yourself. The next area where we carry emotions is the throat area. And this is where we carry the emotions of shame and not being able to speak our truth. So I remember years ago, I went to a John Edward mediumship gallery. And I was so inspired. And I have to say, at that point, I was reading Doreen Virtue books and really intrigued by the afterlife and spirit. I hadn't yet learned how to connect, and I really wanted to learn how to connect with my grandmother in spirit, as I was really close to her when I was little. And I came home and I had this knowing inside. I can't explain it. And the guy that I was with at the time, I said to him, I'm going to do that one day. I want to learn more about it. And I really felt in my power and speaking my truth. I really felt it as I was saying it. And then because of his fear, he totally shut it down. He got angry at me, thought I was crazy for the fact that I was thinking about possibly leaving a good job with good financial security. And we kind of had a big fight about it. And it was one of those things that really shut down my throat, my lungs, my spirit, because I was speaking my truth and I was speaking my heart in that moment. Now, I didn't realize it then. I know it now. And in that moment, it was like somebody just plugged me up. And I swallowed it, and I didn't talk about it again for a long time. And then when I did leave that job and open up my practice, I still struggled for a while, speaking my truth, coming out to the public. I felt like for a long time I was under the radar, hidden in this safe little bubble. So I have to say, this podcast is my therapy of speaking my truth and opening up that throat chakra of communication. And the angel that can help with that is Archangel Celestina. Celestina is the angel that helps with spiritual pride. There's a pride in the work that I do. We're not talking about ego, boastful pride, but when I come home at night and I think back on my day that I was able to impact somebody, I was able to offer kindness, love, and support that can impact another human being to live their best life. It is so incredibly powerful and so incredibly rewarding. And it took me a long time to stand in my power with that and speak my truth. So maybe you've had somebody, maybe you said, I'd love to do this, I'd love to experience this, or this is who I am. And you've had people who have been insecure about that, about your light and wanting to dull it and have completely dulled your light. Call on Archangel Celestina and she'll clear out that throat chakra. For me, when I'm working with clients energetically, it feels like I'm pulling hair out of a drain. So if you think about energy and words will come out just like water will get through a drain, but it will be significantly decreased. And as soon as you clear that drain, what happens? The energy flows so much. Water flows so much easier. So you can call on, if you feel like you got that frog in your throat, maybe you got thyroid issues, maybe you've got lumps in your throat, maybe you're prone to strep throat. It even goes right down into your lungs. I remember I used to get bronchitis and strep throat all the time and couldn't understand why. Then I had this experience with this IET energy, and I worked on clearing that energy in my throat and my lungs energetically. And honestly, friends, knock on wood, I cannot remember the last time I've had strep throat or bronchitis because I cleared the emotional body. So call on Archangel Celestina and ask her to help you speak your truth, to stand in your power, to use your words. I know there are so many writers out there and public speakers and intuitives who want to share their gifts, who want to be able to communicate with people to help them. That's why we're here on this planet. These us as caregivers, healers, earth angels, light workers, we're here to be of service. And I'm talking about men and women. It doesn't have to be one job or one specific way. There is so many ways that we can communicate and be powerful to be able to help help humanity. But it starts with being able to communicate and being able to express who you really are. So if you're struggling maybe you started a business that you know this is your calling and you're struggling, call on the Archangel Celestina and ask her to show you how to speak your truth. Ask her to clear any obstacles or any clogs in the drain that's hindering you from really expressing your true self. Send her back to your past, to any of those. Maybe it was a parent, maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a friend who made fun of you when you were a child or a teenager. Junior high was really difficult for me, and it seems to be when things start to go awry for people. So you may or may not make the connection, but send her backwards. Send her back to clear the past so that you can speak your truth and sing your heart song. The other area where we carry emotions that's very common for people to have pain is the neck. The neck is where we carry the emotions of threat. Eons ago, threat used to be a saber-toothed tiger. Now threat is the economy, our health care. That threat was really rocked in 2008 when people were losing their homes and their cars and their jobs, and family members were breaking up because of it. So if you're carrying tension in your neck, think about all the things that you're threatened by. And this is anything that makes you cringe, anything that makes your shoulders go up. I mean, even at work, think about all the pressures you can have at work of getting things done, the pressures of being a mom or a dad that has to get kids here and there and everywhere and all these responsibilities. This is kind of what builds up the tension in the neck. And so the imprint or the positive area of the threat is, oh God, I'm blanking, which probably means, support. I always blank on that one. Clearly, I've been working on support. There's some information for me to that, but support. So think about all the things you're doing on your own. I have to do this, I have to do that. And this is also directly connected to the shoulders. So Angel Celestina is also connected to the neck as well and the emotions of threat. And you can also call her in to ask her to bring supportive people in your life. And remember, these are God's armies of angels. These are these high vibrating beings of light that God sends to us to work with us on a regular basis. So I'm not talking about separate from God, separate from this. I'm talking about this unconditional love vibration and this energy that works in it. So I give it the name Celestina. You can call it whatever you wish, as long as you're asking and inviting that energy in for help and for support. Call on her, ask her to bring supportive people, but remember, you've got to be open to saying yes. If somebody wants to buy you a coffee, or somebody wants to offer to do something for you, or what can I do for you? Give them something to do. That's where it starts. Say yes to the support. It does us no good being a superhero and trying to do everything on our own. Trust me, I was the queen of that. Nope, I don't need help. I was the one that carried 10 million bags. Now, when somebody asks if they can help me, I'll say yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Gladly, certainly. Thank you so much. So these are all the things, and this is like, this part is like life homework, learning to receive, learning to accept support from others, because you'll be surprised. I find that lately I've been working with people and open to that energy of support, and you know what? People will surprise you. They'll probably do things better than you can imagine if you release that belief system that only you can do it. You know, we have that superhero thinking that nobody else is going to do it better than I. If I let them do it, they're going to mess it up and it's going to be more work for me. That's like the caregiver way. So if you're able to shift that, or really just be open to receiving assistance from Archangel Celestina, she can shift that energy powerfully. So if you've got that tension in your neck, just take a few deep breaths and breathe into that area. I am supported. I am surrounded by support. supportive people. I have all the support I need. Breathing into that area will help release that tension, but you really got to be mindful of paying attention to your body. The next area that, again, I talked briefly about with the support area is your shoulders. This is where we carry the emotions of our shoulds. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I have to do this. I have to do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And then also those thoughts of, but I want to do this and I want to do that. You are carrying the weights of the world on your shoulders. And Archangel Faith is the angel that works with those emotions, and she imprints the energy of freedom. Think about what it would feel like to be free from all the responsibilities, the burdens, the ties and the binds that keep you weighted down. So all you have to do is invite Angel Faith in and ask her to free you. Ask her to release the weights of the world from your shoulders, breathing into it, being able to sit with that energy of freedom. Sometimes it's imagining your wings spreading and being able to make really good decisions with your time and energy, being able to delegate and release some things that you've taken on. You know, maybe you're taking on things for children and coworkers that they are more than capable of doing themselves. This is where it's connected to your throat and using your communication, getting the support that you need to ultimately lift those weights of freedom. The next area where we carry intense emotions is the heart area. And this is where we carry the negative emotions of heartache and betrayal. And this is the root. So when energy flows in, it flows in from heaven, the heavenly divine energy through the crown or top of your head. The earth energy comes up through your feet, up to your heart, and the cosmic energy that's all around us flows through your third eye to your heart, and that energy all goes to your heart and then filters out through your hands. This is powerful when somebody's doing energy work, a kind hug or holding somebody's hand to comfort them. You're drawing in all that energy around you, and what happens is because we're burned by people, we're hurt by people, we're disappointed by people, all different types of experiences. It creates this these walls and these blocks that build up around the heart. Angel Cassiel, she is a beautiful angel to help release heartache and betrayal and increase the energy of unconditional love. So if you ask her to show you what unconditional love is, show you externally, and also to fill you up to overflowing, of course, this is the root of where you call in that God, source, creator, universe energy. Ask God to fill you up to overflowing with his unconditional love, so that regardless of where you are in the world and what's happening, you are feeling grounded and connected, filled with this love, knowing that this divine energy has got your back. So breathing into the heart center, breathing into that space, it's almost like when we love somebody so much that we create all these fears, like don't do this because of this, and make sure this, and make sure that. That energy actually really restricts your heart because there's that fear love there, right? And so we may see people with heart attacks or cardiac problems, where that stuff is all blockages and emotional energy and experience is rooted in love. We love people so much that we don't want anything to happen to them because of our own fears. And like I said, it creates these walls and blocks in the heart, which eventually can disconnect you from people, which again brings in the energy of loneliness and sadness. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can feel whole and complete with or without people in your lives. And feeling that energy and the release of that heartache and betrayal of those experiences, and really, like I said, opening up to the energy of love. As we go down the body, we carry emotions of anger and resentment in the liver, the gallbladder, and the spleen. So think about, when we drink, there's when you're working with somebody, you have somebody in your life who alcohol is a problem, or there's the addictive energy, or the addiction with alcohol, or even drugs. Think about what's happening. They're abusing the liver, right? And in that stirs up the energy of anger, and it like spills out of them. I always say with caregivers, the biggest thing is with like nurses, teachers, social workers, people who are working with people for a living, tend to feel the tension in the middle back. For women, it's along your bra strap line. Also, too, in your spleen. This is where we carry the energy of resentments, right? Think about how often you're fuming on the inside, but you have to remain calm and cool on the outside. That energy builds up and it creates this tension in your middle back. I say this is where your angel wings get heavy. This is where it's like taking it all in and not being able to communicate and express yourself, to be able to say no, or just be angry. Sometimes anger is an emotion just like happiness. Sometimes you just have to be upset about something, but when you're swallowing it and you're stuffing it, it's eventually going to come out somewhere else. And this is where I think we see a lot of bullies on the road, on the highway and out in the world, bullies in shopping centers, and they're just angry, and all this stuff is like spilling out, because really to be angry at a stranger is really the path of least resistance, because most strangers are just going to kind of brush it off. So being mindful of this and where you're storing that energy and how toxic it is to your body. As a practitioner right now, we're seeing a lot of gallbladder surgeries. Well, of course, people are pissed off. There's a lot of stuff that's happening for people that are not giving the opportunity to release. So Archangel Daniel, or Angel Daniel, works with these emotions, and he imprints the energy of forgiveness. When we have that energy of forgiveness, is I forgive you and I set myself free. You're freeing yourself from the emotions of how dare you or how could you, right? So being able to sit with that and forgive yourself for the way you responded in a situation, forgiving others, and being able to see. Now, that doesn't mean let people walk all over you. Sometimes it means like turning your head and moving in a different direction for your own self, being able to forgive the experience and being able to take the learning lessons in it. And what happens is when you revisit these experiences that maybe fired you up in the past, when you invite Angel Daniel in, it's like those experiences will bother you less and less. And I have to say, it may take some time. Archangel Uriel, Uriel, he's another angel that can help you ride those waves of forgiveness and being able to release. Remember, it's like you're releasing that person, because chances are that person you're angry with or you're frustrated with, they're off living their best life, and you're here sitting stewing about it. So the point is, when you invite these angels in, they're going to release that energy, and they're going to, again, the mantra is I forgive you and I set myself free, so that you can go on and live your best life. As we move more down the body, we have our stomach area, where our colon is, large and small intestine, our kidneys. This is where we carry the emotions of stress and powerlessness. This is where we start to gain fat in our bellies, because what happens? We emotionally eat because we're feeling stressed and powerless, right? That saying, we're stress eating or emotional eating. Well, guess what? This is the area, the stomach area, right into the large intestine, small intestine. So when there is increase stress and powerlessness. And I'm not just talking about weight. There are plenty of thin people who really struggle with IBS and diverticulitis and any type of like intestinal issues from the overwhelming stress and powerlessness. You know, we think about with single parents and people who are working multiple jobs to survive. All those emotions and those energies, those experiences don't just disappear. They eventually affect your physical body. So if you can make that connection, know that you can shift it, you can release it. Maybe you need medical assistance as well as therapeutic or holistic assistance. You know, I really believe in complementary care. They both work together. So this isn't a this or that. It's a combination. And like I said, when you can make the correlation between the pain that you're having in your body and connecting it to the emotional experiences that you're having, there can be healing and releasing of it naturally. And then when you know better, you'll do better. You'll make better decisions. You'll feel more confident and strong in being able to say no and set boundaries. So think about all those experiences that are stressors in your life and triggers. Meditation is so powerful for this. Archangel Sarah is the angel of ease. So the imprint or the positive energy of stress and powerlessness is ease. She'll help you to move through life easily and effortlessly. When Angel Sarah shows up, I find that she comes in with the construction vehicles, the dump trucks, the backhoes, super powerful in that sense of being able to clear away the stressors, the walls, the blocks, so that you can move through life with grace and ease. Beautiful affirmation, sitting with that energy, seeing a clear path ahead of you, walking easily and effortlessly, inviting Sarah in to clear the way. And then the last area that I want to talk about is the lower back area, your hips, your reproductive organs, the seat of your soul, right? This is where we carry the emotions of fear. When we don't have a solid foundation, people who have struggles with money issues, foundational issues, survival support, stability, when we worry about our house, when we worry about our jobs, when we worry about our foundation and it's propelled by fear, there's a weakness in the lower back. You know, like I said, I was raised by a single mother, so that was a natural energy of emotion that was always around, and I really needed to learn how to counter that to be able to have a thriving, successful business. And remember, if you can't take care of yourself, all this other stuff doesn't matter. If you don't have a roof over your head and some means to be able to nourish your body with food, this is the foundational part of it, right? And anybody who's had a back issues knows that it's really difficult to function and support yourself, right? How do you stand when you have lower back issues? It's incredibly difficult, and it is a direct connection to the emotions of worries and fears. So call on that guardian of light, Archangel Michael. He is here to serve and protect, to keep us safe. I say so often, the Archangel Michael sends sirens, fire trucks, ambulances, cop cars. You know, think about, they are the help, right? Help's on the way. All you have to do is invite him in. But remember, emergency responders don't know there's an emergency unless what? People are calling, or somebody's calling and asking for assistance. So invite the Archangel Michael in, and he will imprint the energy of safety so that you feel like you're walking on solid ground, like the universe has your back. I've been doing these mini yoga sessions at home, and one of the things the instructor talks about the most is at the end of yoga, when you're laying down, know that the universe has your back. Feel the earth beneath you. And I have to say, that is one of the most soothing and comforting positions, is just to lay down and feel the earth below me, feel my home, my rug, my floor, the mat below me supporting me. And it really is a powerful experience in feeling safe and secure. And this is what Archangel Michael will help with. So this is kind of a long podcast, but I thought it was really important where everybody's going through these emotions. And as I said in the beginning, I find that sometimes when we have this information and we know what emotions, negative emotions are creating what negative experiences in the body, we can counter it with a positive. And again, information, knowledge is power. When you know something, you do better, right? When you don't know, you don't know. And so here I am coming into this space with these specific angels. So maybe you're struggling with lower back pain. Maybe you're struggling with tension in your neck and shoulders. Maybe you're challenged with that fire in between your middle back. Well, now you know what experiences you're having or what emotions and mental thoughts that you're having that are creating this pain. And really the best thing you can do is simple and easy. Breathe into those areas. Imprint the positive energy, call on the angel, give yourself 5 minutes to sit with it, and you'll be amazed at when you love yourself, when you put yourself first, you'll be amazed at how your body will support you. You'll be amazed at how good your body, your mind, and your spirit will feel. So I encourage you to strengthen yourself, because when you do, you will be a beacon of light for the people on earth. You will want to let people go at stop signs. You will want to give people smiles even if they don't smile back. You will want to share what you have with people in such a generous, loving way, but it starts with the self. So I'm going to end that there today. If you have any questions about that, or if there are any topics that you would like me to talk more about, maybe you've heard some things, or maybe you're curious about some things that you've heard in the spiritual world that you'd like to talk about, email me, send me a message. I'd be happy to open up a conversation of discussion on really anything if I have the knowledge and wisdom. If not, I will tell you. I will figure it out, or I will find out, or I will pass you along to somebody who can best help you. So as always, friends, I thank you for listening, and I send you love with heavenly hugs.
You've been listening to Heavenly Hugs with Gladys Ellen. Gladys invites you to join her on Facebook and Instagram, where she continues to teach and inspire. If this podcast was helpful and you would like to experience more, Gladys offers private sessions at her office, as well as over the phone and via Skype. Connect with loved ones in the afterlife. Explore past lives with past life regression therapy. Or receive clarity about your life purpose, love, relationships, prosperity, and more with spiritual intuitive sessions. Book your appointment online anytime at GladysEllen.com.